Today I want to talk about money. I'm going to tell you a story. You guys know that I went from being a graphic designer to being a Rebbetzin. A lot of people ask me, how can you take that leap? How is it that I was able to leave safe and secure for something that's so unknown and be so cool about it? So this is a story. It's from Rebbe Nachman, and it goes like this. There's a man who came to the town, and he's exhausted because he just came from the town next door, and he really has nothing on him. He's asking people, do you know where I can get food? And they tell him that actually there is. There's a man who has an entire chesed organization. You go right, left, down the street, the last house on the right. And so he's all excited. He walks down, right, left, down the street, and all the way to the end. And when he gets to the end of the street, he turns to the house on the left because he got confused. He knocks on the door, and it turns out, to his not so good luck, that's the miser of the town. And this guy is not interested in helping anybody. And he opens the door and he looks at him and says, "Yeah?" So says, "Oh, thank you so much. I'm so sorry. I don't want to bother you, but I just walked from all the way from the other street. And the people in the center of town said that I could come here and get some food." And he says, "Well, you're going to have to work for your food." He says, Sure, I'll do anything. Really, I'm just so hungry and I have nothing." "Oh, okay, you see over there, you do this and that. Come back to me when you're done." And the miser leaves, and the man is so grateful he found work so that he can get food. He goes and he works so hard, and he feels exhausted and tired and thirsty, and he just can't do anymore. And so he comes and knocks on the door and says to the miser, "I did as much as I could and I can't do any more. Is it possible to get some food?" And so the miser says, "Yeah, okay, I see you did enough. Very good now. For your food, you can go across the street. They'll make sure to give you food there." And so he's all excited. He goes across the street. He knocks on the door and he says, "I was told I can get food here." And they say, "Yes, please come in." And they open the door and they let him in. And there is a huge table of food. And he's allowed to take whatever he wants. And there's people sitting. It's almost like a restaurant. And he takes the food and he's so excited. And he walks to his chair with his plate. And he says to himself, that was so worth it. That hard work was so worth it. And he sits himself down and he takes his first bite and his second bite, and he's constantly saying, that was so worth it. That hard work was so worth it. And the waiter hears him and says, "Excuse me, sir, but do you know that we don't charge here? Everything here is free. It's a chesed." And he says, "What are you talking about? I worked really hard for this food. I worked really hard for this food." And so the waiter's like, cuckoo, goes to the owner and says, "I think there's a misunderstanding here. This guy thinks he worked for the food, and I tried explaining to him that this is all chesed." So the owner comes and says, "Hi, how are you? Shalom Aleichem. So, where are you from?" "Oh, yeah, very nice. So I hear there's a misunderstanding. You think you worked for this food." And he says, "What are you talking about? Do you know how hard I worked for this food? I worked so hard. I couldn't work anymore. I had to stop in the middle. And I'm so grateful I did. This is so worth it. That hard work was so worth it for the food I'm getting here." And so he says to him, "Tell me again where you worked." "So listen, I was in the center of town. They told me right, left, all the way to the end. They told me to go to this house. He told me to work. I worked. He told me to go across the street, knock on the door. I got the food. It was worth it. Even though it was hard, it was so worth it." And the owner says, I understand what happened. You worked for free and you ate for free." And then Rebbe Nachman turns to everybody and says, that is this world. We are conditioned to believe that the work we do has a very direct correlation with the food we eat. And really, it doesn't. We work for free and we eat for free. Hashem is so good to us. He showers us with gifts. He gives us without limitations. Everything we need, we get, no matter what. And then, so why do we work? Well, we work because that's the way life works. This is this world, and it's Olam HaSheker. So it makes sense that Hashem wants to hide behind nature and make us believe that we work for our food, so that it'd be a little bit harder to really pinpoint Hashem. And so, if you're working for free and eating for free, wouldn't you rather be working for Hashem than working for some boss? What are you waiting for to leave that boring job or to continue doing the thing that you do just because it pays? Hashem put you here for something. You can work for Him. You can do the work. I'm not saying don't do anything. Don't sit around putting your feet up and saying, I don't need to work. Hashem will provide. Guess what? That's not the way of this world. What is the way of this world is getting in touch with what does Hashem want from me? What does Hashem want from me? Why did He put me in this world? And what does He want me to be doing? And then once that's clear, start doing it. Start doing it. I can tell you that it does not matter how you eat. It doesn't matter how the money comes. It doesn't matter if it's coming from this door or from that door, from the window or from the roof. Hashem will make sure you have everything you need. Not because you deserve it, not because you worked hard for it, but because He loves you. And He is here to make sure that we don't go ever without the things that we need. This is about separating the correlation and freeing ourselves up to do Ratzon Hashem, to actually lean in to what we're here to do and change the world. If I'm guaranteed that Hashem loves me and wants the best for me and is going to provide for me no matter what, then it doesn't matter where I spend my energy, as long as I am doing something and as long as I am contributing, I will be successful. You're not just thinking of yourself. That's when you fail. When you think of others, how can I contribute? That's when you are getting somewhere. You can do anything. I'm Rebbetzin Bat-Chen Grossman, ConnectedForReal.com, and I help women connect for real and bring Hashem into their lives and have an amazing marriage and make this life the most awesome life. Go ahead, press the like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Thank you.